Well, I'm not here. I'm here, and Gretchen and Lente is there. We're doing a virtual online interview using Zoom, one of the most popular apps going on these days. And we're talking about her company, which is called Drama of Works, a New York-based puppet theater company, which has been going on for almost 25 years. They do many different kinds of shows, big shows, small shows, multimedia, large puppets, small puppets, and now they're going to be doing a Punch and Judy show online for obvious reasons as part of the Puppet Slam that's being hosted by Coney Island, USA. So let's hear about it. Let's hear about the history of your company first.
Okay, so I got into puppetry because I loved making collage and sculpture, and I was also taking theater classes, and I just kind of found that I could marry those two together and tell stories in a more elevated way than without puppets, frankly. I used to work at the Henson Festival. I saw your interview with Leslie Ash. Thank you so much. Amazing. And I was so excited to get that book because that's a part of my life too. And that, get it, Out of the Shadows, right? Is that what it's called? Out of the Shadows. Go buy it now if you haven't. And so I fell in love with these big, beautiful, metaphoric, thematic, saying bigger than life things, puppet shows at the Henson Festival. And so we formed Drama of Works, me and my college friends. You know, that's kind of how it happens a lot. Me and my college friends in 1999. So I guess we were only 21 years old, but still, we're getting there. Only 4 years to go to be the 25th anniversary. And like Jim said, we do big shows, little shows, shows for kids, shows for all ages, shows for only adults. You know, we've taken the life of, we've taken the real story between Alice and Charles Dodson or Lewis Carroll, but then we've also just done interpretations of The Little Mermaid for kids, everything in between. Most recently, just quickly, we did last July, so a year ago, a piece called Rent Party, which was about racism in the Harlem Renaissance, and about 3 kids who have to help their moms put up a rent party so they don't get evicted. And we actually put those back online, and they're still streaming online right now if you'd like to watch that piece and another piece of ours called Water, both written by an African-American playwright, Amina Henry, just to help parents if they want to watch something with their kids and discuss those kind of social issues that are percolating right now. So that's kind of an aside that has nothing to do with the Puppet Slam, but I wanted to make sure y'all knew that that was available. So go to our website, www.dramaworks.com. Now, back to the event at hand, right? So we have a Puppet Slam called Punch. We actually inherited it in 2005 from a friend that started it and did it for like a few months and then was like, she wasn't really in the puppet world. She just wanted to give emerging puppet artists an opportunity to put up short pieces. And this term kind of Puppet Slam had been around for a few years at that point. The idea obviously taken from Poetry Slam, and so short pieces. Poetry Slams, I believe, used to have like a winner, like people would kind of, you know, which is not the case of Puppetry Slams, but we just kind of took the name the puppetry world did and ran with it. And so we inherited Punch Slam, Puppet Slam, which we did for a few years. And then we started, we got the idea to do this thing called Punch Kamikaze, which is this weird term. I don't know why we called it Kamikaze, but it's stuck. The idea being that, you know, it's, so we started it during our Alice in Wonderland Festival in 2007. And so we gave every puppet artist got a chapter of Alice in Wonderland. They were able to go away, do whatever they wanted. And then we just presented the pieces in order, right? And so it was so weird and so amazing to go from a shadow, you know, caterpillar scene to, you know, a hand puppet body, like raunchy Mad Hatter scene, to, you know, people being a bit more whimsical, to being more, you know, someone did a whole pop culture interpretation of one of the chapters. So it was so much fun. And we thought that was just that one-off thing, but we were like, oh my God, this was so great and so fun. We have to keep doing it. And so we've done, I realized today when I was writing out my notes that this this one coming up will be the 10th Kamikaze. So that's awesome. I didn't even do the math on that until today. But so the first one was Alice in Wonderland. Then we did the works of Kafka. So people did different pieces of Franz Kafka's. We did the entire canon of Shakespeare, every single play. Ones the puppets didn't cover, we covered in like 30-second versions. It was pretty fun. We did Christmas Carol, Wizard of Oz, Empire Strikes Back. That one was fun. World War II, the events of World War II. We did that the week after Trump was inaugurated. You know. The play Ubu Roy by Alfred Jerry, if you know it, if you all know it. That was amazing. And last year we did Dante's Inferno, because we're all in hell.
Amazing.
So why not give every puppet artist a circle of hell to put up on stage for us? So that's the history of Punch Kamikaze. Now, we were planning on doing actually War of the Worlds this spring. That was the plan. And we were starting to get acts in line and stuff, but then the pandemic hit, right? COVID-19. So now we have to take our Puppet Slam online. And we don't know what we're doing. It's like, what am I doing? I don't know how to do this. I mean, there's been so many, Puppet Slam Network has been amazing. And Chad Williams with his, been giving classes on how to put your show online, which has been amazing. Chad Williams from Wonderspark Puppets. But it's still so daunting to even think about it, especially when you're kind of hosting or producing. You have these artists, 5 to 10, let's say, artists in your hands. And it's nerve-wracking, the idea that if we screw up, right, on our end, their art is going to suffer for their audience. And I'm just like, it makes me kind of crazy. So we didn't know what to do. So then Brendan of Puppets Come Home from Coney Island, USA said, hey, do you have anything you want to do in August? And I was like, perfect, because I don't know what I'm doing. And you've already done a slam online, so we can help each other. Plus, of course, being that we decided we wanted to do Punch and Judy as our theme, Punch and Judy was performed. I mean, Brendan has the dates. I didn't look at it today, but for many years on the beach in Coney Island. So there's actually a history with Coney Island and Punch and Judy as well. So it just made like the most perfect sense in the world to do the Puppet Slam through Brendan and Coney Island and Puppets Come Home. So
when is that happening?
August 13th. August 13th. I have the notes here to say it is happening August 13th at 8 p.m. On coneyisland.com/puppets. So, and then the Facebook event is up and live now as well, and we'll link to there. I also believe it will stream on Facebook, but the most direct thing is to just go to coneyisland.com/puppets. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, there you go.
Sounds like a lot of fun.
Yes. So to go back a little bit, just why we picked Punch and Judy. Obviously, the slam is called Punch, but we also have a Punch and Judy show that we've been doing for 15 years. It's called the Sid and Nancy Punch and Judy Show. Sid Vicious and Nancy Spungen, because I did a lot of like punk rock history in high school. I was one of those kids who like, hey, you have to do a history report. And I was like, but you didn't say on what? I'm going to do it on punk rock, because why not? Because that's what I want to look into. So, and then when I read Punch and Judy, I was like, the story of Sid and Nancy and the story of Punch and Judy actually work really well together. So I made a punk rock Punch and Judy show.
Hysterical.
And it's funny that our first Drum of Works now has gone to many international festivals. But the first international festival we got invited to was because of Punch and Judy, because of our Sid and Nancy show, because it was this Finnish puppet festival. And I don't know if you know anything about Finland and their taste in music, but they are full on punk metal. That's all they listen to. And so I think they were like searching, they found us online, the Sid and Nancy Punch and Judy show. And our friends Exceli Klunk in Oulu, Finland, invited us all, you know, expense paid. They're like, you can't just bring a 15-minute show, though. You have to bring a bunch of other stuff. And we're like, okay, we will. So we'll do it. And then we also did it at the Prague Fringe Festival
Yes.
before our show about Andy Warhol as kind of like a pre-show thing. And we just had so much fun doing that show over the years. So in coming to this, like knowing we didn't really know if we wanted to do the War of the Worlds, really, we didn't know if we wanted to ask people to create new work, right? Because again, we felt a little bit nervous about how our knowledge in putting up a puppet slam and that kind of anxiety. So we said, you know what though? So many artists have a Punch and Judy show. And they're not only just a Punch and Judy show, it's a Punch and Judy show that takes it to a new thing, like our punk rock version. You know, so many people who do all these weird, different kinds of Punch and Judy shows. What if we are able to just do a Punch Kamikaze Punch that has scenes from all these people's amazing shows? So you've got our punk rock one. You've got, I've got my notes here. You've got one that's going to be called Punchette Against the Patriarchy. Okay, you've got someone who's been doing it forever, and who, you know, it's some of the things are going to be traditional, some are going to be honoring some artists who have done it for a long time. We've got another one who does a completely improvisational punch, just completely like picks kind of like a topic or a theme and goes crazy, which is awesome. Another punk rock version, and this one is from UK. This company called Noisy Oyster, who we met in some of our international festival rounds and became good friends with. And they told me, they said, you know, because in the UK, Punch and Judy is like, oh, you know, I mean, it's revered, and that they actually got like flack, a lot of flack and criticism from people because they did this kind of new modern version of Punch and Judy, which I was just like, really, come on, guys.
No.
Get with the times.
Come on.
We have got someone who's going to do kind of a spoken word with a puppet reaction to a character in Punch and Judy that's called Jim Crow. He's called Jim Crow, the Black Man. Nobody really does that character anymore, but it's in there at a certain point. So we're going to have a little talk about that. And then another one, Sarah Nolan is probably going to do a bit of her piece, Judy Saves the Day. Again, another kind of feminist take on it, where she kind of turns it on stopping the cycle of domestic violence, frankly, because Punch and Judy obviously is very, speaking of which, some of the donations that we get during the show will go towards the Domestic Violence Project at the Urban Justice Center. So trying to give some donations to a domestic violence organization through that. And then Brendan, of course, he is just full of puppet history and Coney Island history. So he's going to be talking a little bit about that and giving us some context of Punch and Judy in Coney Island history, which is fascinating. And he's got amazing photos and, you know, archives and stuff like that. So it's going to be a really awesome night.
Sounds like a great show. I'm looking forward to it.
I know. Me too. Yeah. I wonder what will happen. I don't know. We're going to find out.
Thank you. Thank you for your time very much, Gretchen. And we'll look forward to the show, and I'll post a link on the website with the interview so everybody knows where to go on the specific date and time that the show is happening. Thank you so much.
Thank
you.
Have
a great day. Yeah.
Thank you, you too.
Take care.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.